Good morning and welcome to Today in LA with Mike Amos. I'm Forrest Lee, and on behalf of Mike, we'd like to thank you for joining us this Tuesday morning, December the 6th. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Saw
good
you on
morning.
TV last night. Was not able to go to the parade,
But you were able to
but
watch
we
it
saw a little bit
on
of it
TV.
on Troy Cable Channel 2. But 109 entries.
Yeah, it was a big parade. It really was.
And,
In fact, it was more than that after they got started because a lot of people just jumped in the back end.
Jumped in. Yeah, and announcing was Leanne Wyndham, Catherine Jordan, and Mike Amos.
Leanne couldn't make it last night, and we had a young lady, Miss. Well, I can't remember her last name.
Okay.
But she did a great job of working it with us. It was a big parade and a fun parade, and the weather was very conducive for a parade. It wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. It was good weather.
Right, and of course we had Willie B. Williams and Sheila Jackson on last week. You know, they're with the Department of Relations and in the tourism department at Troy University, and they kind of organized the parade along with others. And congratulations to Mayor Jason Reeves and everyone who had a hand in it, all the participants.
And we've got our tree lighting done too, and of course that was a very nice ceremony. And then now it's time to get ready for Sheila. Sheila facing, in concert.
Yeah, Sheila Faison Jackson. She'll be in concert this Friday evening on the campus of Troy University in Crosby Theater. Sheila and Friends will have their annual Christmas extravaganza.
I tell you what, it's something I really look forward to. Have you been to that in the past?
I've not been to it.
But I tell you what, it is a super production, and very well done.
Yeah, a couple of other things going on today. You have at 6 o'clock tonight, the Brundage Christmas Parade will jingle its way in downtown Main Street. According to Brian McDaniels, the Brundage Business Association president, they're going to have dancing, singing, floats, classic cars, wagons, food. There'll be a lighting ceremony at the city's Christmas tree. It will be Santa and his elves will be at the Knox Pavilion in downtown Brundage. And this Saturday and Sunday, the old time Christmas, this Friday and Saturday night, the old time Christmas at the Pioneer Museum of Alabama.
And that's going to be a nice production.
There's admission cost, $10 for adults, $9 for seniors, and $60 if you're 60 years of age and over, or the military and students, they get in for $8. But they're going to have quilting, weaving, storytelling, old-time games, cookies, and sweetbread.
Cookies, I'm going to have to go to that.
Roasting marshmallows. They're going to gather around a pot-bellied stove.
Oh, boy, that's going to be
There's
fun.
all kind of stuff going on at the Pioneer Museum of Alabama.
And I tell
this Friday.
You what, Miss Tatum does a great job with that program. She really
Barbara Tatum.
Yeah.
And it starts Friday night at, 6 till 8 on Friday night, and then Saturday, the 10th, it will also be in.
And hopefully, and I don't know what the temperature. Hopefully, it's going to be cooler, and people can gather around that open pit. We've done that in our neighborhood so many times over the years, and really enjoy it. And those marshmallows and everything like that, conducive for a winter wonderland.
And there's a singing jubilee at Pike Liberal Arts tonight at 6:30.
And I was going to bring that up, and he's being modest, but he's going to do some singing tonight, and he can really do it.
I'm probably going to sing "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry," which is a Hank Williams Sr. song. I'm going to probably do it a cappella.
Yeah.
But we have Tucker Park. He's the lead singer of the Park Band. And we're going to be on stage, and we're just going to, each of us will sing 2 or 3 songs. I'm going to sing just one, but, we'll sing about 2 or 3 songs each. Also, we have Perry Brown. He's a very talented local guy. Lenny Trawick.
Oh, boy.
He's got a couple of students that will be with him, Pruitt Vaughn. He was a student at Pike Liberal Arts. He plays the guitar, and Tyler Harrison is one of the leading up-and-coming entertainers in this area. We have Austin Green. He's a minister of music, I believe, in a local church here in Troy, maybe North Side. But Austin teaches at our school, super musician and singer. And Miss Amanda Smothers and her dad, Mike Benton, will also be singing.
Okay.
It's a $5 admission. We're raising money for the baseball program and the archery team.
And you can give more if you want to.
And we'll have the opportunity for you to do that. And $5 bill and a canned good or a perishable item, and that will go to local food closet here in this area.
Right. Let me ask you again. It starts at
6:30.
6:30 now.
6:30.
Will there be? You said there will be finger foods or what?
I'm not sure. I have not heard. Right now, I'm going to say no, but maybe we will. I just have not heard. I've not done that part of the organizing. I'm just trying to get the singers lined up and stuff.
Lyle Wise last night came up to me, and I was telling everybody. I said, "Boy, I wish I had some hot chocolate. I wish I had some hot chocolate." And Lyle walked up to me right that second. I said, "That's a dream come true." And I had a big glass of hot chocolate with marshmallows, and oh God, it fit the occasion.
And so a lot of things going on this week in Troy. And last night, the Troy men's basketball team, we lost to San Diego State out there in California.
Played them
We
pretty
lost
good though, didn't
60-55. Our record is 6-4. And the next home game for the men's basketball team at Troy University will be this Saturday at 4:30 versus Tennessee Tech.
All right, that's on the road though, isn't it?
No, that's at home.
Gonna play Tennessee Tech. All right,
I believe that's correct.
That's right.
And
that's Saturday at 4:30.
Yep. And the women, our record at Troy University, the women are 3-4, and we will host Tulane tomorrow night at 4:30 in Trojan Arena.
That'll be a good one, yeah.
So the women will play Tulane. That'll be a big game tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So let's come out and support
the guys
Trojans.
at 4:30 on Saturday. It must be on television or something.
I don't have that information with me right now.
But it's so many things going on in our community. And of course, the big bowl game's coming up from probably as nice a place as you're gonna find, Orlando, Florida, and it's the Cure Bowl. And Troy plays the University of Texas at San Antonio. They're ranked 22nd in the country. Troy's ranked 23rd in the country, and they're the winners of their conference championship, and we're the winners of our conference.
Yeah, they are the. Hold on just a minute. We're the Sun Belt champion, and they are not the Atlantic Sun.
They're the
Conference USA.
Yeah, Conference USA.
Conference USA, I believe. Yeah. It's going to be in the Exploria Stadium in Orlando, Florida. It will hold about 25,000 and 500 people. It's a soccer stadium, but it's relatively new.
They say it's a beautiful facility.
But to start that Friday off on December the 16th, that's a Friday, the Bahamas Bowl will be played at 10:30 in the morning. Miami out of Ohio will be playing the University of Alabama, Birmingham. That's going to be on ESPN, and that's being played at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium in the Bahamas.
Oh boy,
that's probably another soccer.
Let me tell you something, and I'm not urging you to do this, but I have driven back and forth from Orlando, Florida. It's not that terrible a drive.
About how many hours?
About 6 to 7. About say 6.5, 7 hours.
Okay. Well, I think if you're down there, you ought to go fishing or go see Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, exactly. and a lot of people say, oh, the prices are way out of style down there this time of year, but it's Christmas. It's Christmas, and you'll be able to go into while you're down there to go to Disney World and see their wonderful Christmas program.
Right, and then we will also be on ESPN that day. Of course, we were on ESPN this past weekend when we defeated Coastal Carolina. That was a big marketing strike of gold for Troy University and for Coastal to be on ESPN.
I would like to say this, and correct me if I'm wrong out there. Did you know that Friday the 16th is graduation at Troy University.
Will they actually have the ceremony?
I'm thinking they will. You know, what's more important, the bowl game or graduation? I'd say graduation probably. But that, and I don't know how that's going to work out, but hopefully it can. You know, our trustees and our chancellor and people like that are probably going to be at our graduation or vice versa.
Right. Well, that next day on the 17th, the Fenway Bowl features Cincinnati versus Louisville.
That would be a good bowl, yeah.
The Louisville coach is going to Cincinnati to coach. So there is an opening at Louisville in Kentucky. Now, you got to look back at all the ties of who's in that area, who might be some of the candidates. We don't know. The Celebration Bowl.
Stay away from our coach. Stay away from our coach.
The Celebration Bowl will be Jackson State versus North Carolina Central. That would be Deion Sanders' team, but he's heading to Colorado.
Yeah, and
that's going to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then the New Mexico Bowl will be held in Albuquerque, New Mexico. SMU versus BYU. This is on the 17th on that Saturday. The LA Bowl will be played at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Washington State versus Fresno State. The Lending Tree Bowl will be held in Mobile, Alabama.
And you know,
Hancock Whitney Stadium.
Yeah, and I wish I'd had their records here, but you know, it doesn't surprise me that they made a bowl, but Rice and Southern Mississippi, they just don't sound like bowl.
I think Rice has 5 wins.
Did they? They had to have 6 to play.
I think they ran out of 6.
Did
but there was something in the paper. You know, Auburn had 5 wins.
Right. Yeah,
Rice had 5 wins. That'd be pitting, but it's Rice versus Southern Miss in the Lending Tree Bowl.
Yeah.
Hancock Whitney Stadium, is that one of Johnny's bowls?
No.
And is that one of Mr. Williams' bowls?
No, his bowls are the Camellia Bowl and the Coastal Carolina Bowl, whatever. Okay. Yeah.
All right, you got the Las Vegas Bowl, Oregon State versus Florida.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That will be at 6:30 on ABC at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Get to go to Las Vegas for a bowl game, that's not bad.
And the last bowl of that day, Saturday the 17th, is the Frisco Bowl in Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
Boise State versus North Texas.
I wouldn't recommend anybody going to the Frisco Bowl, but I'll tell you, like I mentioned at the top of the show, let's see, we got on Saturday alone, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bowls.
That's Saturday week.
Day.
Saturday week.
You're talking about Saturday week, but you're talking about a lot of football that day.
All right, this Saturday, December the 10th, it's the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Football Game. It will be held at the University of South Alabama's Hancock Whitney Stadium. It's the 36th time that they played each other. Alabama has 5 commitments. Florence's Jahil Hurley, Eufaula's Yanzi Pierre, Northridge, Wilkin Formby, Hewitt Trustful's Hunter Osborne, Anniston's Raquizi Elderberry. Auburn has 3 commitments in the game. Montgomery Catholic's running back Jeremiah Cobb, Lochapoka, Jacarius Hart, and Auburn's Braden Joyner. Locally, the head coach is going to be Keith Etheridge from Auburn High School.
Okay,
He's the head coach of the Alabama squad. But locally, we also have, besides Jeremiah Cobb of Montgomery Catholic, Keldrick Falk from Highland Home. Defensive lineman will be in the game this Saturday.
Yeah.
And Jacarius Hart, we already mentioned him. He's from Lochapoka. Vasine Lane, he plays at Pike Road. Offensive lineman Raquiz Elderberry. He's from Anniston. I made a mistake on that one. From Carroll High School in Ozark, Carmelo Overton, defensive end linebacker. He will be in the game. We've already mentioned Yanze Pierre, Eufaula, defensive end linebacker. Quay Rosal, who used to live here in Troy. Quay plays at Carver of Montgomery. He's a defensive end and linebacker. And James Smith of Carver of Montgomery, he's a defensive lineman.
Congratulations to those guys. That's a great honor to be named to the North-South All-Star team. And, you know, and where's that game again? Oh,
It's going to be in Mobile. I'm not sure what time the kickoff is, but it'll be this Saturday, December the 10th at South Alabama, Hancock Whitney
They are
Stadium.
getting a lot of exposure with that new stadium of theirs down there. And, you know, so is UAB at their new stadium up there.
The quarterback is for Alabama is Ethan Crawford from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. And I'm seeing if we're carrying another quarterback.
Go ahead.
Good morning. Welcome to Today in L.A.
Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Mr. Will.
Good morning, Will Matthews. How you doing, brother?
What time does it start?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6
So
o'clock.
we have one in Brundage. We have one in Ozark.
We had a huge one in Troy last night. It was there were 10,000 people either in the parade or watching it. It was a great number.
Well, Will, Carroll High School, Carmelo Overton will be playing in Mobile this Saturday in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Game. Will be held on the campus of University of South Alabama, Hancock Whitney Stadium. So congratulations to that young man from
And we've
Carroll,
already
Ozark.
mentioned him three times. He's getting all kinds of exposure.
Yeah, we're looking for some NIL deals for these kids. Really?
Yeah. Well, Will, you sound like you're motoring up toward Dothan. I mean, toward Ozark this morning. Is that right?
Well, I'm going to Dothan. So I'm trying to go to Dothan for years here. For 20 years plus, I drove Dothan to Ozark, and of course, Ozark to Dothan.
Yeah.
I wonder if these collegiate programs have a I know they do NIL degree for people who could specialize in brokering name, image, and likeness deals for players. And also, I want to work in the transfer portal office for you, Coach.
Yeah.
I'm a transfer portal graduate, and I've got my degree in transfer portal specializations from University of Alabama and Troy University. I need a job.
You're fixing to be an expert in transfer portal.
Who is that?
You free.
Coach Dion Sanders.
Prime time. There you go. Prime time. He's in Colorado.
Well, he's already told his team that to go ahead and get on the portal.
What conference are they in the Pac-12?
Pac-12, right.
And
Well, Alabama has 10 in the portal already.
Guess who Coach Prime is going to open his big-time career again next month? First game.
I'm going to look up the schedule right now. Go ahead and tell us.
Texas Christian University.
Oh,
Wow.
boy, that's going to be a good one. And
Wow.
That's who Alabama opens up with?
No.
Who?
Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Colorado.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that's something else there.
But that'll be fun to watch.
I think Alabama opens with Texas.
No, we have a game before that, and then we open up with
Oh, really?
Texas. Yes, sir.
They have a warm-up game.
Yeah, we all need a warm-up game. Let's see, I'll pull it out right now. I got it over here. And that's Powell. Somewheres. I may have left it at home. But let me pull up the Colorado schedule for the year.
I wondered if Alabama will go in the transfer portal and get them a quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to have to. Unless they think this guy from Texas can do the job. You know what? I've always said this, Will. That kid is such a great runner. Why don't they move him to tailback? He's one of the fastest men on the field for Alabama, and he can run. Why not put him at tailback? Big, strong guy. He weighs 230 pounds, I think. What do you think about that?
All right, here's Dion. Here's Colorado's schedule. You got open up at TCU, at TCU, home versus Nebraska, home versus Colorado State, at Arizona State, home versus Arizona, home versus Oregon State, home versus Stanford, home versus Southern Cal, at Oregon, at UCLA, at Utah, and at Washington State.
Well, that's a tough schedule there.
Especially toward the end. And, so the coaching carousel is, still underway too. The offensive coordinator at Ohio State, Kevin Wilson, is going to Tulsa.
There you go.
And, Dion's starting to hire his staff. He hired Jackson State tight ends coach Tim Brewster. I don't know much about him, but
and then the Coastal Carolina coach is heading to Liberty Baptist. So that's a big
that's
change.
about $4 million.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something the other day. Cincinnati plays Louisville.
That's right. And Satterfield has gone to Louisville.
He's gone to
Cincinnati.
So it says here in this article that I pulled up this morning, it says expect Louisville to make a strong effort to bring Purdue's Jeff Brom as their head coach.
Oh yeah, well that's good. Leave us alone.
Did he
Leave
play
us
there?
alone.
He played there. Yeah.
Okay. Come on home, son.
That's good news for Troy.
Yeah, I know it. We don't need anybody fooling around with our new coach. He just went 12 and 11-1 or 12-2.
The next 45 days, we're in the 45-day window to enter the transfer portal. Then it's going to close for a short period of time. Then it's going to open back up.
Yeah.
And so people are maneuvering left and right to get these better players on their team. Auburn is going to be wide open. Alabama now has lost 5 offensive linemen
Oh man.
that have entered the transfer portal. One was
They'll replace him.
they'll replace them, but if the Troy may try to snag 1 or 2 or 3, and I think that's what helped. I don't know the starting lineman for Troy University's offensive line this past year was, but they got 5 kids out of the junior college.
Sure did.
But although I don't think so.
Alabama's line this year was terrible. I mean, Bryce Young got slacked. He ran.
He sure did.
Almost every game.
Let me say the last time, and I'll say it for the last time. This was not a great Alabama football team. I'm telling you, very few only one wide receiver that I've ever heard of. Then the running back won, and he was sporadic toward the end. And like you said, you didn't think they had a good offensive line. It just wasn't a great Alabama team. It was a good Alabama team, but not a great one, in my opinion. Okay.
Well, it's something to have a bad year to do.
Let me. You think Alabama will go after a quarterback in the portal?
Well, if I were,
I'd go after the guy from Virginia.
Tell us about him.
He's one of the all-time leading passers out of the ACC, and he's graduated. He's hunting play. He's got 1 more year.
Yeah.
a.k.a. Jake Coker. But I got a message from someone that says Charles Kelly may be going to Colorado.
Oh boy.
As an assistant.
Yeah. As an assistant.
As an assistant.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, he could help him recruit in
everything's
Alabama.
it's like a whirlwind of tumbleweeds of
It
players.
takes a lot of money to get Charles to leave Tuscaloosa.
That's somebody just sent me that report, but let's see. Here was another thing I was mentioning. Ole Miss offensive line coach Jake Thornton has been hired at Auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
Offensive line coach at Ole Miss, Jake Thornton's coming to Auburn. Coastal Carolina has hired North Carolina State offensive coordinator Tim Beck as its next coach. And the Tennessee offensive coordinator Alex Galesh has been officially announced as University of South Florida's head coach. So December is a busy time for college football.
No question about it. I was looking at some of these bowl participants and and how they fared in the bowl. South Alabama plays Western Kentucky, and it's the only college game that day, and it starts at 8 o'clock. So great exposure for South Alabama in that bowl game. And then I was noticing on down the line that we will have a Hawaii Bowl from Honolulu and Middle Tennessee State and San Diego State get to play in it. It's the only game in town there,
You know, Mike, Troy's game is like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it starts at 2.
2?
I want to say it starts at 2.
One before, I think it's the second game. They got a triple header.
Yeah, there's 2 games. The Bahamas Bowl is that morning at 10:30. UAB versus Miami of Ohio, and then Troy plays University of Texas San Antonio at 2 o'clock.
You know, I would say, and I have driven from Orlando to Troy before, and it's not a terrible drive. It really isn't.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. We want to thank Chrysler Premier Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy, Jason Gregory, and his staff. Want to thank Alabama Real Estate Connection. Want to thank the Wise Brothers, Wise Office Supply.
Yes, sir. And thanks for that hot chocolate.
Thanks for the hot chocolate. We'd like another cup this morning, please.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined again by Will Matthews, and we'll be back after these messages.
It's that time again. It's your trade. Get up to $5,000 minimum trade value for your trade this weekend. Appraisers on site for this event. From here and get up to $5,000 minimum trade value.
Long ways to go.
Welcome back to today in L.A.
And I want to say once again, a huge crowd was at the Christmas parade last night in Troy, and hopefully Ozark will have a big crowd, and also Pike County Brundage will have a good turnout.
Right, there's two parades tonight. Brundage, Alabama has one starting at 6 o'clock with a lot of events. And then the city of Ozark, their Christmas parade starts at 6 o'clock as well. So you can choose one. And Will, what about the sport of golf? Any news? On Thursday, we have the women's golf coach at Troy University will be on the show. Coach Keck, he's going to bring a couple of his seniors, and they'll be on the show Thursday morning. Any big news in the world of golf?
Now Saturday night, they're going to have Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are going to play Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, and it's going to be a 12-hole match in the dark.
Oh, that could be great.
Where's it going to be played at?
Somewhere down in Florida.
Now, and it'll be televised on a Monday night.
No, Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Well, I hope
Prime
it's not one of
time.
the golf courses that is subjected to alligators and somebody with a shotgun by the water, because those alligators roam at night.
Oh.
That'd be a neat thing. And
Who ended up winning this week? Do y'all know? Oh, here it is right here. This is Hovland. Victor Hovland won the Hero World Challenge. And he won by 2 strokes over Scotty Scheffler.
Mike, the Troy attendance was 21,554.
Yeah, okay. That's good for Troy, Alabama. 21,000.
well, there's 4 teams that will have the least amount of transfers and not playing in the bowl games. 4 teams. That'll be TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia. Everybody else is going to be losing players left and right. Who do you favor?
Hey, Forrest, guess what? You're wrong.
Really?
Ohio State's best wide receiver just entered the portal, and he's not going to play in the playoffs.
He's got an injury.
He did not enter the portal. He entered going to the NFL, and he's not going to risk getting hurt.
Yeah, I think he hadn't played much. Doesn't he have a back injury? I pulled that up on a report. I don't
know. He's supposed to projected top 10 in the draft.
Right. So he's a player that has been hurt, and he's a wide receiver, but they got so many wide receivers. Good gracious.
Yeah, they're loaded.
And who do you favor? Do you think they can upset Georgia? And well, they're playing in the Mercedes-Benz Bowl. So Georgia will have a huge advantage.
Georgia's going to beat them to death.
What about Michigan, TCU?
Michigan will beat TCU to death.
And then they'll play the national game on January the 9th in Inglewood, California.
That sounds like the best choice for it all is Georgia and Michigan.
That's who it's going to be. Yep.
And then we got to wait one more year. Is that right? Before they open it up to 12 teams?
Yeah, that's right. Is it 1 or 2 more years? Will the 12 teams?
And 2014 is going to be the first year of the expansion playoffs.
So we'll have it the 14. Well, 1 more year.
Right. Somebody told me the 2025 championship game is going to be in Atlanta.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Let's see.
Of course, we got a big roundup of high school basketball tonight. And one of them includes Highland Home at Enterprise. That's a small school against a big school.
Take it run, Mike. Y'all have a good day today.
Thank you for calling here.
I'm going to look that up. Who else is playing tonight? locally.
We've got Charles Henderson playing at Carver.
That starts at 4:30. That'll be the JV boys,
Yep.
followed by the varsity girls, and then by the varsity boys.
Yeah. And G.W. Long at Geneva County High School of Hartford. And Andalusia playing host to Kinston. At one time, that'd been a great game. Andalusia, congratulations. They win the state championship in football, and they also won it in cheerleading. Is that right?
I don't know about Andalusia's cheerleaders,
Yeah,
but
you-
Eufaula's cheerleaders won 5A, and Charles Henderson cheerleaders finished 5th.
I thought you mentioned Andalusia cheerleaders winning that.
I know Eufaula did. I pulled that up on Facebook.
Eufaula cheerleaders won?
Eufaula cheerleaders won 5A, and Charles Henderson, their cheerleaders finished 5th out of 25 teams. The Pike Liberal Arts cheerleaders won the 2A state cheer championships in game day division.
Isn't that great?
So they won a state championship. Congratulations to those cheerleaders and Hannah Hicks and Jordan,
Well,
their
I tell
sponsor.
you, they have really built a program at Pike Liberal Arts.
And their JV cheerleaders performed today, this afternoon, in the state championships. And I believe, according to my record, there's going to be about 18 to 25 JV and middle school cheerleaders in that competition.
Where would that be held?
That will be in Birmingham at the
Oh,
Bill
boy.
Harris Civic Center.
So we got folks up there right now.
They're on the way.
Yeah.
And I don't have any reports on how Goshen did, but congratulations
Yeah.
to Sheila Ballard and Mallory Rhodes. And those Goshen
Yeah,
cheerleaders are
yeah.
going to the Citrus Bowl. They've
Oh,
invited to the
that's going to be
Citrus
fun,
Bowl.
won't it? Yeah.
And that's coming up soon. And
And that will be a lot of fun for those girls.
to change tunes just a little bit, on February the 25th, 1947, in the city of Troy, 75 years ago, on the 25th of February, 1947, turn your radio on.
Yeah.
WTBF will be 75 years old
75 years old.
on the 25th day,
Yeah.
1947. So
And you left, and all these things that happened, and you left one man out that was the chairman of the board of that radio station for 30 or so years, and it was my father-in-law, Roy Crow. He was the chairman of the board, and I haven't seen a word said on his behalf. And I tell you what, he was very instrumental in that radio station coming to Troy.
Well, I pulled that up somewhere the other day. Been meaning to say it, but congratulations to their birthday coming up in February. I'm sure there'll be a lot of coverage of that in the newspaper and on the radio.
And and the owner of Troy WTBF is a good friend of mine, and Mr. Gilchrist, and
What's his first name?
Dickie Gilchrist, and Dickie daddy was Joe Gilchrist, and he was on the board. Joe Gilchrist, and they had a morning show with Joe Gilchrist and Bob Talbot, Pepe Talbot, wonderful people. And then Asa Dudley was another guy that was very instrumental. But they all at one time owned WTBF.
When you go in there and you walk down the hall, they got a lot of artwork, and they've got a lot of people in black and white in front of the microphone who's been the announcer or the host of the morning
Then
show.
of course, Jim Rowland was instrumental in and just worlds of people from all over this part of the country that were in college, and they worked for WTBF.
Rick Stetson was
Yes,
one
sir.
of them.
What a
Rick.
great one. Great one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is WTBF Radio, 94.7
And,
on your dial.
old Pappy Talbot
970
was
AM.
also a real good play-by-play guy. And here's I was a little kid sitting by my radio, and Troy was playing Robert E. Lee High School of Montgomery, and Pappy Talbot's doing the play-by-play. And the game was just kicked off, and Troy had the ball at the 35-yard line. Wallace Hogan was the quarterback, and Tom Murphy. Well, actually, in this situation, Hogan was the quarterback. and he was from the Baptist Children's Home. He was next to Bobby Marlowe. He was the greatest athlete that ever come out of the Baptist Children's Home.
What was his name again? Besides Bobby?
Hogan.
Hogan.
And he was a great one. And he takes it round left end. Hogan, and this is the way he said it on the radio. Hogan takes the ball around the left end. He's at the 30 yard line, the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50, 45, 50. Hogan, and Hogan, that young man from the Baptist Children's Home, before 25,000 fans in Montgomery at what's it? Crampton Bowl, and he said it just like that. The last 40 yards, all he said was Hogan.
Run, Lindsey, run.
That's right.
Run, Lindsey, run.
That's right. Run, Forrest, run.
Hey, I've heard that said. When I played Pee Wee football at Goshen, I wore number 44, just like Forrest Gump.
Exactly.
And Daddy would be yelling, "Run, Forrest, run!" And I was doing my best.
But it was amazing that they had such talent around, like Pappy Talbot, who was a house builder, and so many ways. He was my high school my little league baseball coach, and I always appreciated him. My little league baseball coach was Pappy Talbot and Jim Tom Norman.
Jim Thomas.
Tom Norman, the late great
cigar.
Jim Tom Norman.
His wife was Miss Grace.
That's right. Nice people.
You got two youngins. Jimmy married Martha.
Yeah.
And was she what was her maiden
She was
name?
a farmer.
Farmer from Luverne.
Yeah.
And then Miss Carola
And what a lady
married
she was.
Watson.
No, she was married to Wallace Jeter.
Wallace
Yeah.
Jeter, and he was from Luverne
Yes,
too.
sir. A great player out of Luverne.
It
And
reminded me of a cowboy.
She, along with Joan Beard, had to be two of the prettiest women that ever come out of Goshen, and they were best friends, and they grew up together. And my heart still goes out to all the folks that were affected by our loss of Joan Beard. Wonderful, classy lady.
Well, some good news out of Tuscaloosa. Will Anderson won the Bronco Nagurski Trophy for the second straight year at a banquet in Charlotte, North Carolina. The other finalists were Pittsburgh defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey, Georgia safety Christopher Smith, and University of Southern California defensive end Tuli Tupalopatou.
All right,
And
now
I
let
probably
me
did
answer
not
this.
pronounce that correctly.
Did our guy win the Butkus Award?
I don't think that's been announced just yet. I think that's going to be tonight.
Yeah, and there are several of them up there.
I think that's tonight.
Yeah.
The Butkus Award.
In fact, I think Coach Summerall is up there with them,
Where is that being given in New York?
I don't know. I want to say New York, but I really don't know.
That's Marshall,
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The Heisman Trophy candidates. I don't know if we mentioned that on air, but Georgia Stetson Bennett, the quarterback. TCU's quarterback is Max Dugan. Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. And quarterback for the University of Southern California, Caleb Williams, are the finalists. And they have been invited to New York City for the ceremony. And, of course, Bry,
My
the
choice.
quarterback at Alabama, didn't get an invitation,
no.
but, he was hurt a couple of games. But
He had a great
my
year.
favorite would be Stetson Bennett. He's been undefeated for
Yes,
2
sir.
years. And
Yes, sir, Reed.
uh,
There's
It's
three
just a
real
game
top-notch ones. Bennett and also the quarterback from Southern Cal, and then the TCU quarterback. Did you look at his stats in that last game?
I did not.
He was responsible.
pretty gritty.
He was responsible for over 500 yards. 150 out of those yards he ran for, and the rest of them he passed.
And you missed winning that game and going undefeated by about that much.
That's right.
That's kind of like UMS Wright Pratt for 2 years in a row.
that's
They
right.
lost in the semifinals. They're inside the one. They lost both times
Yeah.
inside the
I
one.
didn't realize that.
Otherwise, they'd have
Yeah.
gone to the state to the next round.
That's right.
They
And,
lost in the quarterfinals, I believe it was.
Yeah. You know, you and I went to the game, the high school game, and we had a coach on the show yesterday, and what a class act, and what a great program he had built here at Charles Simpson. But, you know, we really had a good time and good fellowship, and the people from Auburn University made it a great venue for folks like us to go to the game.
Well, I got a fever going to that game. Did you know I had a fever?
No.
I was driving your Dodge Ram pickup truck.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess that is the smoothest riding vehicle. You've had it for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, and
But
I bought it directly from Jason Gregory at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Troy. I've got the fever again. I'm trying to. I have to take a cold shower about twice a day to keep from getting the fever. And if I ever pull the lever and get a truck, it's going to be a Dodge Ram.
You know, my brother-in-law, and he probably watching this show this morning. Roy Crow is our guest in our home, and we had a good time reminiscing. And you know, he says, "Tell me about this Ram truck you got." I said, "Well, it's exactly what people say it is. It's a great driving truck, and I'm proud of it."
Yeah, and Mike, driving up there, he was telling me, "Hey, you can change this over here," and I couldn't. I was driving, and there's no room. We went up through Banks, went through Josie, Blues Osteen, Aberfoyle, Tuskegee, Union Springs, Fort Davis, Tuskegee. That's how we went. We came back through Wire Road and Pike Road and that way. But there's so many gadgets. You've got to sit down for a day and figure out where everything is, especially the radio and all that.
You're right.
Heat the seat, heat the steering wheel.
You're right, exactly.
Push the pedal back.
There's constantly a buzzer going off telling you something to do, you know. I tell you something that's scary, though. It won't let you drive back into anything. If that truck sees that you're going to back into something, it stops it. It actually stops it even if it's in the middle of the road.
Wow.
That truck will stop it on its own. You know,
It's got a sensor.
It sure will, yeah.
Well, let's take another quick break. We want to thank Raymond's Barber and Style Shop.
Raymond,
Troy
located
Bank and
on
Trust, the only bank you ever need. And want to thank, of course, Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy and Jason Gregory and his staff. Southern Grill and Patio, right here on South Brunion Street.
And Christmas time, boy, this
Christmas
is where you
time.
need to go.
And they got all kind of grills, spices, sauces, everything you want. And that's also where Town and Country Florida is located as well. But we'll take another break after these. We'll be right back.
And another thing I want to mention, we're going to find out from Forrest what's for dinner.
What's for dinner? Frank. Oh, here we are. Welcome back to Today in LA with Forrest Lee. This is Mike Amos, and I'm Forrest Lee. The Singing Jubilee will be tonight at Pike Liberal Arts at the cafeteria. The admission is $5 and one canned food. You can hear some great entertainers.
What time now?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30, the Singing
I'm gonna
Jubilee.
be there.
Tucker Park, the lead singer of the Park Band, will
Yeah.
be there. Perry Brown, Lenny Trawick, Pruitt Vaughn, Tyler
Yeah,
Harrison.
yeah.
You're going to have Austin Green, Miss Amanda Smothers, and her dad, Mike Benton. And I'm going to sing a song. It's going to be Peace in the, not, well, I could sing Peace in the
Yeah,
Valley.
exactly.
Have done it. But I'm going to sing I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Hear that lonesome whippoorwill. He sounds too blue to fly. That midnight train is winding low. I'm so lonesome I could cry.
Ladies and gentlemen, very well done by Forrest Lee.
And they leave the
No,
but,
that is really good.
well, thank you.
Good. You're really good. And and I want to say something. Growing up, well, not growing up, but I don't know how many years ago it was, but the Blues Brothers, well known, and I've got those Blues Brothers statues in my house. But the Blues Brothers, and you were one of the Blues Brothers, and y'all were famous for 3 or 4 hits.
Well, here's how that started. I'm a Sigma Chi from Troy University, and Ken Johnson at one time was a police officer, and in Troy he was a longtime pharmaceutical rep. But after initiation, we were putting stuff away, and he said, "Tonight, the Blues Brothers, you and me." I said, "Ken, what are you talking about?" He said, "The Blues Brothers." He said, "Go get do you have a black suit?" I said, "No, I don't." So he had one because he'd already dressed up for Halloween and went to the front to the Standard Chemical Company as one of the Blues Brothers. So I didn't have one. So that same day, I went to Goodwill in downtown Troy and bought a suit for $15.
Yeah.
A black suit. I already had a black tie and a white shirt and had black shoes because I was in the National Guard.
And white socks.
And I had to borrow a hat from Dean Gibson.
Yeah.
And so about 11:30 at the fraternity house that night, of course, we have a party after initiation. About 2 guys knew we were doing it besides Ken and I. So about 11:30 midnight, they turned off all the lights and started playing the music. Bill Gospel,
Yeah.
who was a long time, he's a Sigma guy, and he
Yeah.
worked at the Natatorium under Don Jeffrey for a long time. Well, he put the music together. So they put that tape in. So we come out and we do like 3 songs. We open up with Hey Bartender.
Yeah.
Then we did Soul Man. And we might have did one more that first night, and they went nuts because it was a very popular movie.
Exactly, yeah.
So after just about every party, if we had a band, we would ask the band, "Hey, can we come up and do the Blues Brothers during your intermission?"
Yeah.
So we did that a bunch of times. We did it at the National Guard Armory 2 or 3 times. Miss Sigma Chi Fall Rush.
Well, y'all did it
then,
right.
And but Ken has since passed away, but I have done it with Brian Snyder out of Chi Omega, former one time, Steve Wakefield, and I've done it with different
So
ones.
we're looking for another.
We need a Elwood.
We need an Elwood. Tall, you need to be 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah. And we would do the dances and all that.
Yeah.
We'd have a briefcase.
That's what I couldn't get
He
on.
had a set of handcuffs,
Yeah.
so he was handcuffed to the briefcase. And so I come out swinging the key. I would unlock the briefcase, and he'd take the handcuffs off, and he'd open up. There'd be the harmonica, and he would be playing, acting like he was playing the harmonica. We called it pantomiming or lip singing, but if we had a live mic, we would be singing live.
Exactly right. Exactly
And,
right. So we're gonna get to hear you tonight.
Well, I won't be doing the Blues Brothers, but one time we did a talent show at Charles Hudson Middle School. We did it like 2 or 3 years. One year, I sing "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry in a Full Beard."
Yeah.
And Mr. Junior Bird gave me a pair of clippers. So the next time I came out, I shaved all my beard but my mustache and Fu Manchu, and I came out and sang Birmingham Jail.
Okay.
Birmingham Jail, Lord, Birmingham jail. Write me a letter to the Birmingham jail. Roses are red, love, violets are blue. That's how that song goes.
Yeah.
And the big guy in Stir Crazy, when Richard Pryor and
And
was it Gene
Wilder?
Gene Wilder?
Hey, I'm
that
great.
big old prison guy.
Yeah,
He actually is an opera singer.
And what I liked about it, he said, "Yes, we're bad. We're bad." You remember that? We're bad.
And then they had him singing that song. But then I sang that one, and then I was doing songs in between acts.
Yeah.
And so when I came out the last time, I had shaved everything and did the Blues Brothers.
Before the Christmas season's over, I'm gonna come on this show and we're gonna get together and sing it. Oh, holy night. That's that's my favorite Christmas song.
I'll have to get the words because I have to have the words.
Well, yeah.
Before I forget them.
Yeah, you're right. I don't always know the words.
But
I want to mention something before we go off the air. There's wrestling going on, high school wrestling. And I was looking down here, Dothan, Charles Simpson, Robert E. Lee at Enterprise in wrestling. And that was supposed to be on Thursday, the 8th.
Thursday? Where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Enterprise.
At Enterprise, okay.
At Enterprise High School, 5 p.m. But I thought that was interesting. And then at the high school bowling teams are get together. And Fairhope is at Dothan and at Dothan Lanes in the high school bowling. Do you know?
Well, if we had gotten the bowling alley here in Troy, that would be a wonderful sport to add to these local schools. Last night in boys basketball, Brantley defeated Goshen 58-21, and the Goshen girls defeated Brantley High School 33-29. Charles Henderson plays at Carver of Montgomery tonight with the JV boys starting at 4:30, followed by the girls, then the boys. Congratulations to the Pike Liberal Arts cheerleaders. They are the state champions in 2A.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
And Charles Henderson had a great run. They finished fifth out of about 25 teams. Both of those teams will be going to Orlando to the national championships in February. Contact those schools if you can help them financially get there. And congratulations to the Goshen cheerleaders. They also competed. I'm not sure of their results, but they have an invitation to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida later on during the bowl season.
That is great.
And we have the Singing Jubilee at Pike Liberal Arts tonight. Brundage Parade tonight at 6.
Yeah, all right.
Ozark Parade at 6.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
and the parade, of course, is always big in downtown Brundage, and the light show goes on
near the Bass House and
all.
all.
Boy, they always do a super job. I always drive down and go through Brundage downtown area to see the Christmas lights every year, and they are great.
Yeah, we got some. Pike County is a great place to live. And so is Crenshaw County.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we want to thank everybody for watching us this morning. You can see it again at 1:30 each and every day. We're live, or you can watch the replay at TC2.
Yeah.
Go to TC2 TV. You can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. And certainly on behalf of Big Mike, we want to thank Stephen Kemp and his staff here at Troy Cable and C Spire for setting things up and running the audio and all that
and
stuff.
for doing that parade last night live from downtown Troy. And the young man that was the cameraman did a wonderful job.
Right. And so we got about 19 more days.
To Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
And of course, Santa
And
Claus
here,
is coming.
Santa, look here, Santa Claus.
Ho to the third power.
Yes,
And,
sir. I got old Santa right there.
Of course, we want to mention the name Jesus, and let's do something nice for someone today and think of others and help someone when they're down. Just call somebody out of the blue they had called.
Of course, remember, Jesus is the reason for the season out there today, so I always remember that.
Yeah. We'll see you in the morning. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good one.